It is a sad day for Milwaukee Brewers fans everywhere as the Brewers just traded Freddy Peralta, one of my favorite players of all time. Welcome back to Good Sports for You, where we are talking about good sports for you. I do have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about that's not just Brewers related. But I got to start with the Brewers. I got to start with my squad. We traded Freddy. And it hurts. And this is just the same MO that the Brewers have always had since the beginning of time. Guys get good. Last year, the contract, we ship them off. It's to be expected at this point. I knew that we were either trading McGill or that we were trading Freddy. And it just so happened that it was going to be Freddy. And you know what? Like, he was barely getting paid this year. But I mean, I think the idea was that we weren't going to have the money to pay him in free agency. So it was just, that's it. And Freddy is a dog. And I love this move for the Mets for this season. The prospects we'll get to a little bit later, but they give up some good prospects. Freddy is an ace. He is a legit ace. Don't let anyone tell you any differently. In 2021, which a lot of people would consider his breakout season, he was incredible. Part of that three-headed monster with him, Woodruff, and Corbin Burns. And then, you know, he was always solid. And if you look at these numbers, these past 3 seasons, 30 games started, 32, then 33 this season. He was our only real starter in the playoffs, which I talked about a lot in my Brewers being eliminated from the playoffs, where Freddy was really the only true starter that we had consistently pitching in the playoffs. I wasn't planning on making a video today. But you know, after this, I just had to. That's why I got my hat on, because I was wearing my hat earlier today because it's cold outside. And so I need to wear my hat now because then my hair looks awful if I've had my hat on all day. But anyway, Brewers, Freddy Peralta, you guys are getting a dog. I mean, if you just look at his numbers, his strikeout per 9 is ridiculous. It's 11.1. And he pitches. He just pitches. He does the job. 17 wins this season. I know wins don't really matter anymore, but anytime you get a guy who can still get wins for your team, like, you need that. That means he's going deep into games. He's pitching well. He's giving your team the opportunity to win and to succeed. And with an ERA of 2.30 this season, 5th in Cy Young, I think he should have been higher. I think he should have been 4th above Logan Webb. He put up 5.5 WAR. I mean, come on. He's so good, and this is exactly what the Mets needed. You know, I talked about in my previous video with the Bo Bichette signing that I didn't like it because they didn't have any starting pitchers and they didn't have any outfield. And they just decided to go out and trade for it, which is good. That's what you do as an organization. They had prospects that they were willing to trade away to try to make the push for this year, because this is a this year move. Like, Freddy is going to be a free agent. If he's going to stay with the Mets, that's TBD. He's struck out 200 guys each of the past 3 seasons. I mean, he's elite. His stuff is so good. And the media, the national media, is going to fall in love with him when he is in New York, something that couldn't happen while he was with Milwaukee. But I mean, a 2-time All-Star, All-MLB second team. I know people don't really talk about the All-MLB teams a lot, but he's just good. He is just a good pitcher. I mean, when you're looking at ERA pluses, he hasn't had an ERA plus below 112 since 2019 when he was 23 years old. He's just a really good pitcher, and I hate to see him go. I really do, because he was my favorite pitcher that the Brewers have had in a very long time. Him and Woody have been my 2 favorites, probably since CC Sabathia in 2008, which is going way back. I mean, Giovanni Gallardo's obviously up there too, but it's going to be a shame to see him go, but I know that he's going to be great. So the Mets, you got yourself a dog. And also, I don't want to act like Tobias Myers is a throwaway. He was also in this deal. Toby, as I like to call him, is a very good pitcher. I mean, last season in 2024, he had a 3 ERA in his rookie year in 25 starts. This season, he was sent down to AAA and stuff like that with a 3.55 ERA on the season, not because he wasn't good enough, but because the Brewers had just such a log jam of quality starters, and Toby was just kind of the odd guy out. He is good. He can easily be a 4 on your staff if you got Freddy as your 1, Nolan McLean as your 2, and then who else they got there? Toby could be your 3, honestly, for all I care. And now you're looking at that. You're looking at the rotation. The rotation is looking so much better. I mean, this is just, it's a win now move for the Mets. It really is. If that's what they're trying to do, they are 100% doing it. But honestly, Toby is a guy that can stick around a little bit longer. He's just good. He's just a good ball player. And it hurts because these were 2 of my favorite guys. And it's just a bummer that this is just the cycle that the Brewers do over and over and over again. But we did get some top prospects in return. But here's my thing. Prospects are prospects. You don't know what they're going to turn into. At the end of the day, you just don't. Freddie was a prospect at one point. He turned into an all-star. That is what you want of your prospects. But we got Jet Williams, who is good. He's the number 30 prospect in all of baseball. And I love that. They have him listed shortstop, second base, outfield. Mets fans, if you could give me a little information about what we're looking at. It looks like he's short. 5'7" is what they're saying. But hey, if he's a top guy, I believe that he could be something. If he could, maybe we'll trade Joey Ortiz and he could slot in at shortstop. But we also got Jesus Mate coming up, and he's the number 4 prospect in all of baseball. He's projected to come up in 2027. So we just have a plethora of really good infield talent right now. And my brother floated by the possibility if Bryce Terang is next to be traded at a certain point, which would be brutal. That would be brutal. Again, one of my favorite players. I got his bobblehead right here. But that's a possibility, and that's the world that Brewers fans live in. We also got Brandon Sprout, I think. Hey, 25 years old, starting pitcher. If he could fill in the gaps in our rotation, it looks like he has some reps in the big leagues. He is slotted in as our number 6 prospect, and he was just outside of, I believe he was number 5 with the Mets. So, and both of those guys were under guys who were in the top 100, which leads me to believe that he's like somewhere in like the 110 range. So, the Brewers got good prospects in return. And if Brandon can be anything, this is a good trade. And I understand, I really do, from the statistical analysis, from the idea of growing the team, that this is the right move. We're getting rid of somebody that we probably wouldn't have been able to bring back. And in exchange, you get 2 high-level prospects for 1 year of a great pitcher. So I get all of that. I really and truly do, but it just hurts because I love Freddie. And just for once, I want somebody since Ryan Braun to be drafted by the Brewers or signed by the Brewers or traded for super young for the Brewers like Freddie was, and make his way up through our system, and then make his debut with the Brewers and turn into just a phenomenal pitcher like Freddie was. He got traded to us after his age 19 season, and he was in the minors, and then at 22 he came up and had an awesome debut. I believe it was at Coors Field, and he did awesome. We know what he can be, and he's going to be good. So Mets fans, you got someone really good for this season. As I'm looking towards the future, these prospects get me excited, but you never know what a prospect is going to turn into. Jet Williams is only 22. Brandon is 25. So those are 2 things to look forward to. And then when you're talking about the Brewers on the pitching side of things now, the lineups, the rotation's looking a lot rougher. You got Woodruff, you got Mizorowski, Quinn Priester, Chad Patrick, Logan Henderson. If Brandon's gonna start up here, to lose a star is obviously gonna hurt the lineup. The rotation. It just is. It just is, and it's tough. But I do believe in our front office, and I don't like the move. I cannot say that I like the move trading one of our best pitchers that we've had in a long time. This is the same thing that we did with Corbin Burns. I'm glad that we have Woodruff still, because man, it would have been brutal if we didn't have Woody. And again, I love Toby, and honestly, that shouldn't be a guy that Mets fans are like, oh, he's not really anything. Toby's a good pitcher, man. He's really good. So he could really be something too, quite frankly. If he slots in at your 4 or your 5, you love that for the squad. So honestly, for a win now move for the Mets, I really like it. And then for invest in the future like the Brewers always do, it's also a great move for the Brewers. It's going to save money in the long run, so I get it, but it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. But that's all the Brewers talk I got. Now moving on to the other teams. The Mets, though, traded for Luis Robert. Great trade for them, too. I mean, the two things that I said in my video is you needed outfield and you needed pitching. They got outfield yesterday in Luis Robert. He is such a talented player. We know what he can be. I mean, 2023, 5.3 WAR, 12th in MVP, Silver Slugger. And, like, his eye wasn't even that good. If he can develop his eye at all, like, we're talking about a legit, like, top 10 player in the National League. I'm not even joking. And he's still young-ish, I guess. I thought he was younger. Dang, he's been in the league a long time, I guess. He's only 28, though. And you know what? You gave up Luis Angel Acuna, who realistically you knew didn't really have a spot anymore because he's an infielder, and then you had Bo Bichette and Marcus Semien and Francisco Lindor. He wasn't going to get any reps. So it makes 100% sense to trade him. And also you trade Truman Pauly. Truman, I'm not familiar with your game. Looks like you're decent in A-ball for 4 innings. Went to Harvard, though, is what it says. So that's cool. But I love the move for the Mets. And this guy, you do have a little bit more team control over. He does have a team option for the next year. So at least you could get 2 potential years of him at $20 million a year in exchange for guys that you weren't going to use. And it makes the team better. You're looking at this lineup. If Luis Robert can return to like his pre-injury beat-up self, that lineup is scary now, because now you'll have Lindor, Soto, Bichette, Robert. If Semien can tap into anything that he once had, that's going to be a really good lineup. Polanco in there too. All my concerns that I had for the Mets, all my complaints about, I think you paid Bo Bichette too much money, is completely out the window because you made a couple of really good deals. You got an ace, and you got somebody who has the potential to be a star for your center field. I love the move for them. They're just making good moves. David Stearns is redeeming himself this offseason for sure. So a couple of really, really good moves that I think really salvaged their offseason for something, an offseason that I didn't like. They made it into something good at the Brewers fans' expense. And then the other team in New York, we got to talk about Cody Bellinger briefly. He signed a nice little contract. It was not as big as I expected it to be. I'll be 100% honest. If you watched my last video, I talked about how I thought that he was going to get paid way more. But he is getting a bag because the deal includes a signing bonus and also it includes opt-outs. So you get a lot of guaranteed money on the books with the signing bonus and also opt-outs for the potential to go on to an even bigger contract if you wanted. So as a whole, I think this is a win-win for both sides. The AAV isn't exactly what I expected it to be. I thought that it was going to be much higher. I mean, it's 162.5 for 5 years. That's only an AAV of 32.5. But, like I said, opt-outs after the second and third season and a $20 million signing bonus and a full no-trade clause. So he has way more control of his future right now, which I really like for him. And then for the Yankees, you needed to bring him back. This was not anything that was negotiable. Quite frankly, you needed to bring back Cody Bellinger. He's going to be a valuable piece in the lineup. My biggest complaint about the Yankees, especially in the postseason, was you had too many guys that didn't know how to hit for any average. And Cody Bellinger was one of the few guys who knew how to do that. That wasn't just swinging for the fences every single time. With a 272 average, he's a professional hitter. He gets the job done. And you're bringing him back. So I really, really like that move for the Yankees. You needed to bring him back. It was non-negotiable, and they were able to do that. So as a whole, to wrap up the entire thing, I'm sad. I'm upset. But I get it. But what's frustrating is, like, you see these other fan bases, and they're just spoiled, man. Like, the Yankees, they're spoiled. The Dodgers are spoiled. The Mets now, to a point, are spoiled. Like, I saw Jolly Olive's live stream, and I really like Jolly Olive. I've been watching him since the jump. But it's frustrating to see someone be able to be like, oh, is he going to? Oh, yes, we got him. The Brewers don't have those moments. The Brewers are never in trade talks. The Brewers are never in signing talks. When we got Rhys Hoskins a couple of years ago, that was our big signing. That was our big move. That was shaking things up. Willy Adames was a big trade for us, Signing Kane was huge. Trading for Yelich was big. But even those guys at that time weren't even all-stars. Like Kane was. Signing Kane was big. But trading for Yelich, he had never been an all-star in Miami. And obviously we know what he did in Milwaukee, but it's frustrating to not have those moments. And I know that so many other teams feel that way. It's just frustrating. It's really frustrating. And I think that we can turn it around, and I think we can make something happen this year, but now it's going to be tough considering you just made the Mets the easily second best team in the National League. I mean, the Dodgers are clearly number one. But the Mets just fixed a lot of their problems right now. Their bullpen is still shaky. I mean, if Devin Williams can get back to his former self, it's not shaky anymore. But they fixed a lot of their concerns with their rotation. They just needed one guy, and they got Freddy. And then they got Tobias Myers, who is not a nobody at all. And then they fixed up some of their issues in the outfield by trading for Luis Robert. Now they're really good. And now I'm looking at the Brewers, and I'm like, okay, you win the Central if the Cubs aren't great. But the Cubs signed Bregman. What are we adding? What are we adding to make ourselves better? And it's nothing. We just keep being like, it's the future, it's for the future. I get that, but when is it going to be the now? When is it going to be the now? And that's what's most upsetting as a Brewers fan to see this trade. Because like I said, it makes sense. It genuinely does. But when are we going to trade for the now is what's upsetting. And then, like I said, the Mets are getting better. Great for the Mets for this year especially. And Luis Robert, I think, is an awesome trade. You're getting rid of Luis Angel Acuna, who I think could have a lot of talent, but he doesn't have a place for you. And then in the Bronx, the Yankees re-signing Cody Bellinger was a must, and they got it done. But that's all I got for you. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, and I'm out. Peace.